Hey Pre-Calc students, welcome to today's lesson on, let's see, what do we got? Word problems. So today we're going to be talking about angles of depression and angles of elevation. So the most important thing you guys have to remember are basics regarding those two. Both of them are measured from a horizontal line, okay? So angle of elevation is from a horizontal line looking up, whereas an angle of depression is from a horizontal line looking down. Okay, that's how you measure angle of depression and angle of elevation, from a horizontal line. All right, so for the problems for this lesson, it's really important for you guys to read carefully, circle and underline anything that you think is important. I strongly recommend that you always draw a picture or do a diagram and label the parts, okay? Also, you guys know that I'm going to take off points if you don't read the directions and write your answers correctly. So if you look at Example 1, it tells you how to round along the way and how to give your final answer. So they're saying hundredths along the way, but your final answer should be in whole feet and inches. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and take a minute to read through the problem. If you think that you can make a sketch of the scenario, feel free to do so. Otherwise, after you're done reading, circling, and underlining things, you can push play to see how I set it up. Okay, so we're talking about a building and the roof of the building having a view of a car that is approaching the building. So go ahead and draw a building. I'm gonna actually draw it a little bigger just so my picture doesn't look too small. Okay, so we know that the building is 100 feet tall. So 100 feet represents, right, the height of the building. Now the car is spotted twice, okay? The first time when it was at an angle of depression of 22 degrees. So I'm going to remember depression from the roof of the building would be from a horizontal line looking down. Okay, so 22 degrees to the car. So notice that we're making a right angle from a line perpendicular to the ground and to the sky. But angles of depression are from a horizontal line looking down. So the first time they saw it, it was at 22 degrees. The second time, so that's the 22, and I strongly recommend you guys use different colors to help you. 22 degrees. The second time, it was an angle of depression of 46 degrees, and by then the car was a little bit closer, okay? So that's the 46 degrees. And so then the car was over here. Okay. And I'm going to complete the triangle this way. Now, in case you're wondering why I even drew a triangle in the first place, because remember, we've been using trig, right? Triangle trig. So I want to create triangles with the given information. So that's why I drew perpendicular lines to the sky. Okay. Now notice that they're asking me how far did the car travel. So that's this distance here. So pause the video and ask yourself, how can we use the given information to find that missing piece? When you're ready, push play and find out if you were right. There's some symmetry in this problem. So if you look at the blue triangle, right, that length is also the same length on the bottom. The length of the smaller triangle, okay, actually let me do it on the inside, 1 second. Okay, so the length of the smaller triangle is also down here. So if you look, the piece that we're missing is what I'm going to color in yellow, right? That is the gap between the blue length and the pink length. So essentially, if I subtract blue minus pink, I'll get the value that I need. Okay? So I'm going to call this blue length X, And the variables don't matter, so you can choose whatever variable you want. And then this length I'm going to call y. If I can subtract x minus y, I'll get the length. Notice that there's some symmetry here. So that length is the same length that the car traveled, okay, the distance. So I'm going to set up two equations, one for the pink, which had a 46-degree angle of depression, and another one for the angle of depression of 22. I can't solve the triangles the way I have them set up yet. So think about it. The only number we haven't used yet is the 100. So thinking of symmetry, okay? So the building was 100 feet tall. So that is also the side length here for that pink triangle and here for the blue triangle, okay? So I can put that 100 degrees here and here. Now remember, our goal is to subtract blue minus pink. So I'm going to, here the appropriate trig function would be tangent. Tangent of 46 equals opposite over adjacent. Here it would be tangent of 22 equals opposite over adjacent. You're going to multiply both sides by the variable to get it out of the denominator. Remember, you can pause the video, rewind at any time. I'm solving both of these at the same time just to make the video not too long, but you can pause the video right now and try to solve it yourself. And then push play when you're ready to check. And then divide by tangent of 46. For the first one, tangent of 22 divided by tangent of 22 for the second. So you're essentially going to get y equals 100 divided by tangent of 46. That gives me 96.57. You can also just listen to the video first, watch the video, and then later you can copy the work. That could be helpful too. Okay. After I subtract these, I get an answer of 150.94. But this is feet, and they want whole feet and inches. So I need to convert this amount of feet into inches. So the way you do that is a quick little conversion. So 0.94 is right now written in feet. We want to know how many inches. So you set up a proportion. There are 1 foot equals 12 inches. So there's 12 inches for 1 foot, okay? You can cross multiply. That gives you 1x equals 12 times, and that's 0.94, okay? Which is, I believe, 11/28, okay? So that means that it's about 11, since they want you to round the final answer to whole numbers, so it's about 11 inches. So your final answer, dun, 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 is 150 feet, 11 inches. Okay, go ahead and read the next problem. Circle and underline anything that you think is important. And then try to see if you can make the sketch yourself, okay? So some of you guys are amazing at drawing and art. So your drawings will be a lot prettier than mine, which is fine. But we've got a tourist. Just don't make sure you're not spending like too much time drawing the pictures out, okay? And a statue. So I'm not that good of an artist. So my statue, I'm just going to draw it as a stick, okay? Now, from her line of sight, okay, that's from her eye level. From eye level, she can see the top of the statue, at an angle of elevation. So elevation is 28.45. But remember, elevation is from a horizontal line looking up. So the right angle is created here from the horizontal line to the statue. The angle of depression is from a horizontal line looking down. So looking down. So that one's going to be the 7 degrees 30. Now, I forgot to mention to you guys that degrees can be split up into smaller units. So this 45 is 45 minutes. That's how you read that with the little apostrophe. To find whenever you have to deal with degrees and minutes in your units, you're gonna use the second button. You're gonna push second and then apps, and both of those will appear. Okay, so second, apps. Okay, so we have two right triangles. Since they want to know the height of the building, I'm going to have to find this piece and then add them up. Okay, that's the total height of the statue. Okay, so I'm going to essentially solve two right triangles, the one that's 20 degrees 45 minutes, and I'm going to find x, and then one of the things that I forgot to label, I just realized it right now because I'm looking at my triangles and I'm missing too many pieces, is the fact that she was standing 100 feet away. So this is 100, and that is the same length of this right here. So I'm going to put it a little darker from her line of sight. Okay, so that's where the 100 goes. So this is the other triangle, 7 degrees, 30 minutes. And that's why, with the 100 being here, right? Because that's the shared side of 100. Okay, so I'm going to set up a trig function. This is going to be tangent as well. Tangent of 28 degrees, 45 minutes equals opposite over adjacent. Tangent of 7 degrees, 30 minutes equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, so on this one, there's a little less work because the variable is on the top. So when you multiply both sides by 100, you already have your variable isolated. So in your calculator, you're going to type 100 times tangent of 28, and then you're going to push second apps to get the degrees. Then you're going to type 45, and then you're going to do second apps again to get the minutes. Okay, practice right now in your calculator. I can always show you when you come back to class how to do it. I got an answer of, 5486. So feel free to pause the video right now to make sure you can get that answer. For this one, it's 100 times tangent of 7 degrees. Remember, to get the degrees, you're going to do second apps, choose the first option. Then you're going to type 30 and then second apps again, and you're going to choose the second option. And that's going to give you 1317. And then you just add these up. The answer is just rounded to the second decimal. So you should get 68.03 feet. All right, if you have any questions, remember you can always ask. We can set up a time to meet. All right, have a great day.